All right, let's get right into it. We're looking at a high-tech launch that kicked off a Hollywood-sized legal war. This is a story about a futuristic car, a legendary movie, and a crazy new technology that might just change the rules of creativity as we know it.
So take a look at this. If you're a sci-fi fan, you know this look instantly. That dusty, orange, kind of post-apocalyptic world, it's the iconic vibe of Blade Runner 2049. But you'd be wrong.
What you're actually looking at here is the backdrop from Elon Musk's big reveal for his new autonomous vehicle, the Cybercab. You know, the car with no steering wheel, no pedals. The whole thing is supposed to be the future of how we get around.
So why could this be a billion-dollar mistake? Well, because that strikingly similar background, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't a coincidence, or even a simple homage. It was a deliberate choice, and it has landed Tesla right in the middle of a landmark lawsuit, pitting Silicon Valley against Hollywood in a huge battle over AI and art.
Okay, so let's break down how this whole controversy even started. The scene is the big Cybercab reveal. And get this, it was held at the Warner Brothers studio lot, of all places. But the real drama wasn't what was happening on stage, it's what went down behind the scenes just hours before.
This timeline is pretty wild. Check this out. Just 4 hours before the launch, Tesla reaches out and asks for permission to use Blade Runner 2049 stuff. 2 hours later, Alcon Entertainment, they own the rights, comes back with a hard no. They basically said they didn't want to be associated with Musk's, let's call it, polarizing public image. And then, the launch goes ahead anyway, with a backdrop that looks, incredibly similar. They literally asked, got told no, and then did it anyway.
So this gets to the heart of the matter, right? Was this just inspiration, or was it flat-out artistic theft? I mean, Tesla has always had this kind of cyberpunk vibe, we know that. But Alcon is arguing this goes way, way beyond simple inspiration. Let's dig into the evidence they're actually presenting in court.
This side-by-side really spells it out. On one side, you've got the movie's signature orange dust haze, a look crafted by the legendary cinematographer Roger Deakins. And on the other, you've got the Tesla event's background, using what looks like the exact same color palette. But it's not just the background. Look at the Cybercab itself. Its angular, metallic design and those gull-wing doors, well, they look an awful lot like the spinner vehicles from the film.
Alcon's lawsuit pulls no punches. They call it artistic reverse engineering. They're claiming Tesla didn't just borrow a mood, they systematically broke down the film's unique visual identity and copied it. And the goal? To give their new product a built-in cool factor for free, basically piggybacking on the billions of dollars and decades of brand building that went into Blade Runner.
Okay, but here's where the story takes a really modern twist, because the real bombshell here isn't just that they allegedly copied the look, it's how they did it. And this is what pushes the case from a standard copyright dispute into totally new legal territory.
So, Alcon is calling this the AI heist. Here's how they say it went down. First, Alcon denies permission. Then Musk's team allegedly just turns to generative AI, feeding it prompts like, create an image in the style of Blade Runner. And that leads them to what they thought was a legal loophole, using these AI images, maybe believing they bypass copyright law because they're technically new. Alcon's calling this a new kind of infringement, digital style forgery. And that is a huge deal because copyright law has always protected a specific thing, like a photo, but not a general style. This case is trying to blow that whole idea up.
You know, this whole thing is so much bigger than just one lawsuit. It really represents a fundamental clash between two of America's most powerful forces, Hollywood and Silicon Valley. And they have completely different philosophies on what it means to create something and to own it.
So Tesla's defense will almost certainly lean on this legal idea of fair use. They'll probably argue that the visuals were just a tribute or a parody, and that's a protected form of speech. But fair use isn't some get-out-of-jail-free card. The courts look at a few factors, especially whether the use is commercial and if it harms the market for the original. That's the core of the legal fight here.
And Alcon's argument against that is pretty simple. They say the fair use defense just falls apart when your use is purely commercial. You're not critiquing Blade Runner, you're using its world-famous aesthetic to sell cars. In their view, that's not an homage, it's just exploitation.
And here's where you see those two worldviews just smash into each other. Silicon Valley's philosophy has often been to treat culture as raw data, something to be used for innovation to build the future. Hollywood's philosophy is, whoa, hold on. That culture is a product of immense investment and creativity. It's an asset, and you have to pay to use it. So this isn't just a lawsuit. It's a battle over whether iconic art is a blueprint for everyone or if it's protected property.
So why should any of us care about this one case?
Because the verdict isn't just going to affect Tesla and Alcon. It's going to send shockwaves through every single industry that relies on creative work, especially now, in the age of AI.
I mean, think about who's watching this. You've got all the tech giants, every major Hollywood studio, the entire gaming and advertising industries, and countless independent artists. They're all watching this case closely. The outcome could fundamentally rewrite the rules for digital creation and commercial art.
Let's just walk through the two possible futures here. If Tesla wins, it could mean open season. Any company could use AI to mimic an artist's style for an ad. The very idea of a unique artistic vibe would lose its value, and AI would get a green light as a tool for bypassing licenses. Now, if Alcon wins, using AI this way for advertising could become illegal. The definition of copyright might actually expand to protect an artist's essence, and the AI companies themselves could face huge new liabilities.
And for Tesla, this isn't just about a potential fine or a PR headache. According to some analysts, fighting this battle could be a massive strategic own goal.
Musk's ultimate vision for autonomous cars is that they become entertainment environments on wheels. When you don't have to drive, your car becomes a mobile living room for watching movies and playing games. But to fill those screens, you need content deals with the very same Hollywood giants he's now battling in court. So winning this legal fight could mean losing the content war, creating a high-tech vehicle with nothing compelling to watch inside. It's the definition of artistic isolation.
And all of this brings us to the final, critical question this case forces us all to answer. Can a company use an algorithm to capture the soul of a creation, to replicate its unique feel and style without permission? And in a world where AI can do just that, who, if anyone, should own that aesthetic? The answer is going to define the next chapter of art, technology, and the law.